Hello.
Hi everyone, welcome to this stream of Love is on the Cards. Thank you very much, Lacey and Dragons, for having us. I am Poorna M, and
I am ArmaanBabu.
my pronouns are she, her, and Armaan.
And mine are he, him.
And we are here today as two halves of Weave Games, bringing you our second game, that is Love is on the Cards, a game that allows you to create your own holiday rom-com. We did this. Why did we do this, Armaan? Why did we create this game?
We created this because we want to make games that allow us to flirt with each other.
Yes. If you too would like to play games that allow you to flirt with your partner or someone who's not your partner yet, or if you would just like to enact some shenanigans with a friend, a family member, or anyone who shares your love or distrust of holiday rom-coms, you should get this game. It is out on Christmas Day 2023. I don't know why I felt the need to say the name of the year, but here we are. Thank you, Daisies and Dragons, for having us. And if you're ready, we can start playing the game.
I'm ready to begin.
Okay. So, if you have, if we are obviously both wildly popular on socials, so you must already know this. But on the 22nd, we were at Horde of Tales, our friends over at Horde of Tales, streaming another actual play of this game, and today we will be enacting the sequel, the prequel.
We are back for the second part of people who have been clamoring for more love, Notes of Love content, which was the name of our film. We are here now for Notes of Love 2 or Notes of Love 0, depending on whether we decide to go prequel or sequel. I'm still leaning sequel, but we might change our minds. This is why you watch us. We're capricious.
Yeah. Who hasn't had enough of? Who has had it? Their fill of capricious content, I tell you. Okay, so so how you play Love is on the Cards is you have a deck of cards. You have our game, which has a bunch of prompts that help you build this story. So we're going to start with the first stage, which is the trailer. In the trailer, we will describe the roles that us, the stars, are playing, and we will decide a bunch of stuff about the movie. So, Armaan, do you know the name of your character? The full name?
Yes, my character, coming all the way back from Notes of Love 1, is Dr. Grisham Pennyworth. Yes, someone who specializes in respiratory diseases, helping the romantic lead of the previous film out. And that's really all you need to know about the Doctor. He's very helpful, does Doctor stuff. Knows more technical jargon than Armaan do, so this is going to be very, very amusing.
And I am going to be playing Jenny Madison, or Jennifer Madison. She, her pronouns. I think. Do you think that Jenny should be like entirely outside of Dr. Pennyworth's professional realm, like something completely different, or do they need to?
Maybe someone out of his professional realm, but definitely someone who is a longtime resident. Maybe someone who's like a longtime resident of Moon's Hollow, which is where this is set, and is passingly familiar with the Doctor. Or maybe they haven't met yet. We still have a meet cute to do.
Yeah, but okay, so someone who is not in the medical sphere. Honestly, I have a strong inclination to have it be a cafe owner, but I realized I already did that in Notes of Love. I guess it's just what I want to be in life. What's a tropey trope thing? Do you think I hate my job?
It's possible. Yeah, yeah, that could be it. Yes.
Hmm.
Mm.
Okay, I think I work at an office with boring cubicles and lots of paperwork, and amorphous, ugly building with no redeeming features. And my boss is mean.
I would like to note that Dr. Pennyworth's in somewhat older than our usual romantic leads. He's in somewhere in his 40s. Is your character the same age?
Yes,
Okay. And here's the tricky part. What is her name?
I told you it's Jenny Madison.
Oh, right. Yes. Where is my attention span? Let's see. This is why we write things down. All right. So
Regular after school
excellent.
special. This one.
Swear, I'd forget my own name if it wasn't written down on all the social medias.
You remember your name because of social media?
it's it's a shame to me admitting this, but it's true. I have to check Twitter every morning just to confirm.
It's true. You do text me on a semi-regular basis asking me what your name is.
But that's neither here nor there. We are focusing on our characters' names.
It's true. We are. So, for some reason, so Jenny Madison. She, her pronouns. Oh, what are your pronouns?
He/him.
So in general, we are saying for this game that you can describe like your character's occupation and things like this, things that you might come across in the trailer of a film. We are saying that physical descriptions are optional, simply because, hey, if you want that trope of having someone be someone's type, and all of that has been seen a bunch of times, then that's fair. You do you. If you want your type to find you, fair enough. Go with whatever feels good. So Jenny Madison works, she, her pronouns, works in an office that she has no love for, and her boss is mean.
And Dr. Grisham Pennyworth it works as a doctor, and is when not dressed in his medical uniform and the doctor's coat and all that. You can tell I know many doctor things.
Mm.
He dresses for winter. Very, very stylish coats and sweaters, and just an overall distinguished look.
Regardless of weather, Grisham is prepared
Regardless
for
of
winter.
weather, suffers during the summer, but he looks great.
Yep, Jon Snow and Grisham Pennyworth always prepared for winter. Okay, so we've also established that these characters are in their early 40s.
Yeah.
Okay, let us decide then if something comes to us about the title of this movie. Are we saying it's Notes of Love 2? Or are we just saying...
Until
Sorry?
you know what? I say we go full sequel. Notes of Love 2.
I think then a sequel deserves a tagline, which we should definitely give it at some point.
We should get to the tagline once we've seen a little more of how this movie shakes out.
Got it. Okay, so Notes of Love 2, starring Poorna M and ArmaanBabu, is the movie that you're going to watch today. Okay, the next thing that you decide about the movie is you decide a best friend or a close confidant. You decide who your character's known associates are. So, who are your known associates, Grisham?
Well, I would say the hospital administrator, um, Jonathan Walsh, um, who is a very practical man, and who is, yeah, likes things to be well ordered.
Love it. Okay. And so, do you just want to mention the one person in your entourage?
Um, that is the thing. Dr. Pennyworth leads a fairly friendly life. He has a great bedside manner. Has everyone's very fond of him, but he doesn't have much of a social circle.
Hmm. I hear that's a
He
problem
moved
for
to
doctors in their
Hollow
40s.
moved to Moon's Hollow many years ago, and has not made much time for friends, or family, or for a long time for romance.
Grisham, you could have said many moons ago you moved to Moon's Hollow.
It's the influence of Dr. Walsh, who
Hmm.
very, as we've mentioned, very practical, very ordered, very unprone to puns.
Sad is what it is. Okay, well, so for Jenny, her I think her closest confidant is also going to be from work. But I think there will be two people. There will be a friend at work who is Mariko, who is the boss's secretary, and they both hate him. Um, and um, and I think the other person is going to be Jenny's sister, um, Madeline. And Madeline and Jenny aren't like, I wouldn't say emotionally close, and that they would like come and cry on one another's shoulders if they needed to, but I think they do have each other's back. Whereas I feel Mariko and Jenny are what in some modern parlance would be called one another's work lives. So I think they just get through the workday together. Okay, so we have decided that I'm just going to make a note that it is Mariko and okay, great. So to establish um, to establish what happens in this movie, or what the themes of this movie are going to be, during the trailer, you pick two cards. You pick a hearts card that allows you to decide why the characters are perfect for each other. So, Armaan, do you want to do the honors and pick a hearts card for us?
All right, going ahead, and I have picked the Four of Hearts, which means
Which means they are the only ones who
only one.
see the other's true potential.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, that
Oh, I
is
wonder
really
what
sweet.
our true potential. Oh, and it's especially sweet to have someone see that for the first time later in life, because usually the true potential stuff happens to people who are really young and stuff.
It's true. Um, and arguably, uh, those who have, gotten to like a stage where they hate their jobs, i.e., my character, might not see their potential anymore. So, and wow, we're creating some relatable content today, folks. Okay, so um, that is why our characters are perfect for each other. So you might imagine in the trailer of Notes of Love Part 2, as our incredibly able producer has suggested a tagline that says Notes of Love 2, a shot of love. Let's see if that means anything to us later, but a story of two characters who are perfect for each other because they're the only ones who see one another's true potential. And let's see what might keep them apart. Armaan.
All right, so heading for a spades card, we have drawn the Eight of Spades, which means their greatest dreams and ambitions would seem to be at odds with each other. Oh no, we see each other's potentials, we bring it out of each other, but they're at odds with each other somehow.
Um, well,
So I think it's worth figuring out what we think our secret potentials are at this point, and whether or not, and what our ambitions might be.
I mean, I think given that Jenny hates her job, I think Jenny's. I think when she was maybe when I think when she was younger, she wanted to teach, but was told that there's not very much money in it, and it's like a really draining job, and she didn't want to get super attached to kids and all of this. So I think she really wanted to teach, and I think at the time the only jobs available were like high school, in like a high school sort of teaching level, which as a 20-something she would have found intimidating. And I think so that I think that her true potential now would be sort of that she now that she is a bit older and she knows more about herself and the world, hopefully at least about the world, if not herself, that her true potential might be in guiding young people.
Okay, wow, powerful, important stuff. As for the doctor, for Dr. Pennyworth, I think he believes that he is not good with people, that he is basically sort of destined to be alone. He helps the town out, he's a good doctor, he's great at what he does, but actually connecting, he's been in Moon's Hollow for maybe 12 years now, and he hasn't really connected with anyone in the community. I think he's afraid of the potential of actually becoming a part of a community. He's sort of resigned himself to being well liked but alone. As for his ambitions, he kind of wants. I think he just really wants what's best for the hospital, to do more drives to the hospital, more charity work, basically make the community a better place. As long as he's not too, doesn't get himself too personally involved. He puts a lot of himself into his work without making sure his work gives anything back.
So you think that it's so his potential is creating like a more community atmosphere around the hospital and its activities.
His ambitions are that for
Yeah,
the Spades
his
card. His
potential.
ambitions are that, but his potential is definitely in making that connection, putting the human element into things. He has good ideas for what might practically make things, but um,
So he thinks he's not
actually,
someone who can connect with people, but he actually is.
yeah,
Okay,
I'd say so.
cool, amazing. Okay, so wow, they're going to be unstoppable when we get together. Okay, so moving on to the next part of the next stage in the um, in the game is called the establishing scene or the best friend exposition. This is when our characters interact with somebody in their entourage, if you've picked more than one person, and kind of set the scene for what's happening at the start of the movie. So it could be about their love lives, it could be about their jobs, it could be about any aspect of their lives that is pertinent at the beginning and that you want to focus on. So which one of us should go first?
How about I go first, and you step into the shoes of
Dr.
the
Walsh.
hospital administrator, Jonathan Walsh. Yes,
Ooh, admin.
Jonathan.
Fun. Okay. So where do we interact?
I think maybe at the end of each of our work shifts, we share, like, just a quick drink, talk about how the hospital, things have been going in the hospital in Dr. Walsh's office.
Okay, sounds good. So you come into Dr. Walsh's office. There are like piles and piles of paper, loads and loads of files. Dr. Walsh doesn't even look up when you come in because he recognizes that it's a certain time of day, and it's like he recognizes your tread, and he just goes, "Hey, take a load off."
Hey, John, shall I pour you your usual?
I mean, sure. I need a drink to get through this paperwork.
That's what I thought. He pours Dr. Walsh's usual, pours a drink, pours a nice brandy for himself, sits down. I know it's winter, but it does feel like the days are getting longer and longer.
It really does. Yeah, sorry. Give me a second to go through. Have you finished the paperwork for Mrs. McCarthy's discharge?
Yes, I've got the paperwork right here. It's things have gone well. She's doing much better. It's all here in this report, right here.
Yeah. No, I saw that. My secretary gave me a copy. I mean, I'm glad Mrs. McCarthy as well. I just don't think, her insurance is going to continue to let her feel well, according to this. Anyway, that is a tomorrow problem. What are you up to this weekend? Is it Friday? God, I've lost track of the days. It's Friday. Yes, it's Friday.
Yes, it's Friday. I don't really have much planned. I was sort of hoping to look a little more into funding for the Blessed Angel program that we've been working on. To help people who fall behind on their insurance and things like that.
I think
Look,
that
I know it's a lot of paperwork. I know getting the funding has been tricky, but if we can find it somewhere, once we get that funding in, the rest will be smooth, and people won't have to worry so much about coming here. We can provide people the care they need.
look, Pennyworth, I think you're a great guy, and I think your ideas are great. I'm just not sure we have the resources or the time to devote to even finding the funding. But you know what? It's the end of the week. Let's talk about this later, okay?
All right. Sure.
Let's just talk about if we are going to see what what this side character refers to as the game, because I, as Poorna, don't know enough about any games that are played in the world of sports to come up with details at the drop of a hat. So, we still on to watch the game on Sunday?
I mean, yes. Unless of course something comes up, you know how I enjoy my Sunday fishing, but yeah, maybe I will show up for the game. It's been a while since we've watched it. That young Adams is really shaping up to be a star player, isn't he?
I mean, out of character here. I might not know much about sports, but I don't think we watch the same games again and again, do we?
I don't think so. Was that what I was implying?
Like, it's been a while since we watched that game. What? Clearly, neither of us. Yeah. Neither of us.
Let's just
watch
do
enough
football
sports.
without going into details.
That Adams, man, he's. What, you were implying good or bad at the football?
A real star player.
Oh, sure. Yeah, okay. Yep. Oh my god, Adams. I've been looking forward to watching him play that sport. Football. Sorry. Been looking forward to the football since I heard about it.
Look, let's move on from the sports. Like we both know it's just an excuse to have a nice drink and enjoy some nice snacks and not have to worry about the hospital for a little bit.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna head out. This office is getting me a headache. You heading out too? Should we get our coats?
Yes.
So
I'm looking forward to getting home. It's been a long day.
Home, Pennyworth. It's not that late. I mean, it's late to be at the hospital, but it's not that late. Go out, like, meet someone, have what the kids are calling fun. Here it's great.
I'm too old for fun. Maybe around Christmas, but for now, I'm just happy to head home and take my shoes off and head to bed.
Take your shoes off.
I've been here.
Pennyworth.
It's my favorite part of the day.
Oh my god. We need to. You know what? I am going to, as your friend, I feel like we should find another sport, even, to watch together today. So much sport, or whatever, but we should still go out and get a drink at a bar where you can meet someone who is not your shoes, because your shoes should not be the best part of your day. Taking them off, putting them on, either way, should not be the best part of your day.
I've been here for a long time. I feel like I've met everyone that, I am going to meet here in Moon's Hollow. I am perfectly comfortable with my social circle. No one wants to hang out with a boring old doctor anyway who just can't stop talking about medical procedures.
I've been meaning to speak to you about that. I don't want to, blow your mind or anything, but when I get home, I do manage to talk about things that are not this hospital with the wife. So I don't know. Maybe, you know what? It's still early. Why don't you come home? I'll check what we're having for dinner. As long as I'm not forgetting we're supposed to do something. I'm sure it'll be fine. Why don't you just come? I'm going to text Gladys and ask her.
It's no problem.
Okay.
It's no problem. I'm sure you and Gladys already have a nice evening planned.
Gladys says there are no plans. You're coming with me, pal.
I suppose I have run out of arguments.
You have
let's
indeed. Especially when I mentioned to her that taking off your shoes is going to be the best part of your day. This is unacceptable, my friend. We need to get you hobbies or a new love of your life. Let's do that.
Love. That's we'll start with hobbies, shall we? Small things, baby steps.
Let's. Out of character, I would just like to say I am fully aware that there's more to life than hobbies and like making sure you're doing something all the time. I'm just embodying a 40-something uncle's vibe.
You're creating, catalyst for an eventual romance that we know is happening. This is perfectly fine.
Amazing. Okay, cool.
What is a romantic comedy without a pushy friend?
Exactly. This is exactly my point. Okay, cool. So, let us. Are we good? Would you like to establish anything else?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good place to end the scene. Yes.
Okay. Cool. So I think Jenny is going to. I think Jenny's just gonna meet her sister for dinner after work.
Okay.
Yeah. I think just still before we start the conversation, I think for just for the sake of argument, we should consider that Jenny's sister is doing Madeline is doing something that she really enjoys doing, like whatever it is, like kind of have that job satisfaction people keep telling us about.
All right. Yes, she is, and she does art for book covers.
That's so nice. Oh no. Okay. Okay, cool. Yes. Where are we going for dinner?
We are going. Shall we go to the hottest restaurant in Moon's Hollow, the Hot Meal?
No, we will not go to the Hot Meal. I refuse to keep making it a thing in these movies. Just so you know,
more on the Hot
audience.
Meal. Check out Hordes of Tales, Notes of Love.
The hottest restaurant that was created in Moon's Hollow in part 1 of Notes of Love over at Horde of Tales was Hot Meals. Oh man, tell ya.
The Hot Meal.
No, I feel like, was it the Hot Meal? Okay, whatever. Anyway, so I regret asking you. I'm gonna make up something. I think what they do is they go to this place that it may just be a place that I really want to exist, called a sliver, because it is Moon's Hollow, and they specialize in like really rich desserts, but they only like serve you like a tiny slice, and then like it's all gourmet and fancy and stuff. And so the whole menu is like baked goods, but like they what they're known for is their desserts.
Ooh, so if they only sell you a sliver and they charge like gourmet prices, I imagine it's a place you go to for like a special occasion.
Yeah, I think Madeline made the reservation. I think I assume from the fact that we're meeting at Sliver that she has some fun news to share, but I thought I would just find out at dinner.
All right. So, I think that sounds good. I think maybe she sold another book cover for like a pretty big publishing house.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we are at dinner at Sliver, the gourmet dessert destination.
Uh-huh. And you have I imagine you've maybe met somewhere else and then walked in together.
Sure.
Yes, all right. Here's a table. You sit down, start looking through the menu, and she goes, all right, so as you can imagine, calling you here to the Sliver, I've got some big news.
What's up?
Yes, I have sold my highest commission yet. Another book cover.
Hey, good for you.
Yes.
Here's to you.
Yes, and it's yes. Thank you. Cheers. I've really wanted to do it. It's been my dream to work for these guys for a really long time, and this is not. I have been told that this cover is not just a one-time deal. This is my foot in the door for a lot more publications. This is this means I can breathe easy a little bit while doing the stuff I love.
No, that's
Also, you
that's great.
are going to.
I'm really
Thank you. You are going
happy.
to absolutely. I'm. Okay, I know work is exhausting, but you could pretend a little, with a little more enthusiasm.
Sorry,
than that.
Mads, you're right. Yep, no, you're absolutely right. You know what? Dinner's on me. Congratulations. I love you. I am sorry that work sucks for me right now, and I cannot therefore imagine loving work. Sorry, like
I get that. And
what's his name is driving me insane. Anyway,
2 things. Well, 3 things. Yeah. First, I love you too. Second, dinner is definitely on me. And third, maybe this is going to cheer you up a little bit. I want to show you the cover. And she takes out her phone and goes and swipes through this thing and holds it out to you. And there's an image of a sort of glamorized version of yourself being dipped on the cover with another handsome man wearing this old-timey vest and right and there's right on the head that says romantic template.
So you wait, is this supposed to be me?
It is you. Look, I made you the star of a book. I mean, it's not exactly you. I've changed a couple of things. I mean, her nose is a little thinner, and her it's
wow.
just, but it's definitely you. I have made you a romantic lead. I told you I would one day.
So I think Jenny would sit next, go get up and sit next to Madison to sort of look more clearly at the mock-up, and when she says a thing about your nose a little thinner, I pinch her nose, and also I put my arm around her and semi ready for headlock if a headlock should be necessary kind of way, and I say I kind of kiss her the side of her head and go, I'm so proud of you, and then and go, look at that, this is look, and I scroll through my phone and I show a picture of her first sketch of depicting me when we were kids, which is framed and on my desk at work, and look at your first sketch and look at you now. But I tell you, being an artist clearly doesn't mean picking the best sources of inspiration. You didn't find any other inspiration for who should be your romantic lead, really?
Look, when I draw, I create things I want to see, and I want to see you being dipped by some hunky guy while there are stars in your eyes.
Okay, a little less wine for you. Okay, so we can go to the next stage of Love is on the Cards, which is the meet cute. Do you want to draw the card?
All right, I will go for that. Queen of Hearts, which brings us.
Birds meet. They are both part of. They are both part of or finalists in the same competition, and it is the Stars Choice. What that is? Yay!
Ooh, Okay, what sort of competition? Oh, I think maybe it should be something that speaks to your potential as a teacher. Wait,
Um,
how? What? Oh,
I know, and I think okay. So how's about this? Because Dr. Walsh says, "Hey, like you need to do more stuff, meet more people." Your version of that is like volunteering somewhere, like, and he's like, "That's not what I meant," but okay, sure. Anyway, and then so, and like I do the same, because I am like the part of my life that I'm not bitter about is my community. Like I really like the people I know outside of work. Um, and so I think we would both have volunteered to coach some kind of like coach some kids in a tournament or something, or like both volunteered to yeah, something like this, and then uh, or and then I think from basically I think that's where we would have met, and then I think since we may discover that we enjoy like competing against one another and it's like fun, then we like go ooh how about then end up like deciding to go for a pub quiz together.
oh, that sounds good. Yes. So, like, we coach kids in a competition together, and maybe these kids are the finalists, and then we go to a pub quiz ourselves.
Yes, so I think maybe there's like a kind of like a fete or some kind of event where I don't know, maybe we coach kids in like, or maybe we're like volunteer like adult chaperone supervisor people, so we're like
Okay.
making sure that um, uh, you know, like if someone says to if one kid says to another, here, take this giant like sack of sand and swing it across the stage, and ignore every movie set on a theater stage ever or something, and then one of us is like, no, maybe put that down. Okay, off you go, or something. I don't know. You know, we'll come up with something. But basically, we do like chaperone things, and then um, like I guess we're both watching as some kind of like quizzing thing is going on, and we both come up with the answer to something. Oh, what is music? What is music that is like sci-fi music called? And we both say Filking
Phil King.
at the same time, and then we're like, oh hey, and then we introduce a thing, and then we say, one of us says, oh hey, there's this quiz in this pub that I go to sometimes. Do you wanna like a bunch of us adults are gonna go do this but with alcohol, and then
All right.
yeah. So should we do that?
All right. That sounds really nice. Okay.
Yay!
So at this winter festival, and we're sort of like the chaperones for a whole bunch of there are a lot of events happening, I imagine, at this fair, and some of them involves kids performing and also taking part in a quiz.
Mhm.
All right, so let's sort of start at a performance where we both what sort of the disaster do you think is are we both stopping these kids from doing?
I mean, I feel like anyone who is a parent or knows people with kids knows that there are many possible disasters at any event involving children. So I think we can just be generally putting out potential fires.
Right. Jimmy, no. I know it looks cool, but you cannot roller skate onto stage. We have not practiced for that. Um,
Leah,
yes, no. Those red boots
yeah,
will. Oh, go ahead.
you need to come on. You need your inhaler. Let's not forget that. That would be bad. Okay, good job. Yes.
Right. You two, don't. I love to see the competitive spirit. You don't need to get into a fist fight before you are actually out on stage. No more of that, okay? No? Excellent.
Ted, Ted, what is in that bottle? I'm gonna
It's
need to check. Okay. Thank you. Oh, it's water. Okay. Well, good for you in the hydration community.
I imagine that all of this is happening in such a way that we keep just missing each other. Like you go, like it's like it constantly looks like we're about to talk to each other or run into each other or say hi, but then you get distracted by Ted. I get distracted by kids fist fighting. We are constantly
A montage of
just
potential meet cutes.
exactly. There's a montage of just constantly just near misses, and then finally the kids quiz competition is on, and as I am wrestling a half torn stuffed giraffe away from two kids who are fighting over it gently, and you are I don't know, trying to clean up a slight stain or
I think
something else.
I'm gonna like grab like a something from like a nearby snack station and try to distract the kids you're breaking up the fight between. Like, hey kids, you want to try these super amazing snacks? Here you go. I couldn't think of a snack that was going to be culturally sensitive to everywhere, so I'm just going to snacks. Here you go. And then and the kids are like, yeah, I guess. And I get bored of the giraffe and let go of. And
Yes, and then we'll probably hear, like, in the background. There's probably been a quiz happening, and then we both get a moment of quiet as we hear the question ringing out in the air. What is the name for a type of folk sci-fi music, a musical genre that is tied to science fiction, fantasy, and horror fandom that's been around since the early 1950s and was popularized by the band um, uh, Cyber Bells?
and so just before that, like when I helped you out, and also you were like, okay, great, I'm holding a horned giraffe now. You're like standing there, and we've just exchanged polite smiles, and then we turn to the stage to listen to the question. And when the question gets asked, we're both like, milkers, milking,
Milking.
and then we look
Oh,
at each other.
yeah.
Hi, Jennifer.
Yes, hi. I am Dr. Grisham. It's a pleasure.
Oh, doctor. Well, that's I'm sure these kids are lucky to have well, honestly, we'll be kidding. The parents are lucky that a doctor has volunteered for this event. That's so nice. You must be really busy as a doctor. It's so nice that you take out the time to volunteer here.
I had some free time. I thought I might as well spend it helping the community out. What brings you here? Are
Oh, I've lived, well, when I was growing up, I lived like 2 streets away, and I guess I still do, even though there are different streets. And yeah, so I am just really tied to this neighborhood. I was in the same high school. There used to be a different one. I mean, I don't know if you grew up here, but I don't think so. I feel like I'm
oh no,
member.
I'm from out of town. But I have been doing volunteer work here and then. I have to say, you're rather impressive with those children.
Oh, right. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say.
They are a challenging bunch, and you handle them with grace and occasional snacks, which is an underrated strategy.
Well, speaking of occasional snacks, I believe we are done with our shift. a bunch of
So we are.
a bunch of the parents and I are going to, like, a bunch of the other adults and I are going to go. I'm not a parent. I don't know if that was clear, but anyway, we were going to go. There's this this nice pub down the street where we go for the weekly quiz and do this, and like points at the stage where the quiz is happening. Do this, but with drinks. Would you like to join us?
I was actually planning on heading home, and he takes a moment and he looks down at his shoes, and then he looks back up at you and says, "Actually, you know what? Why not? I would love to."
So when you mention going home, like you see like her face falls a little bit, and then and then when you say you're going home, she's like, "Great. Let me just," and so hear me out. Out of character, I thought of this really cute thing where suppose I'm like, I turn to like remember where like my coat is and stuff, and as I turn, like a kid barrels past me, like kind of like making me lose my balance, and you can dip me like the book cover as you help me out.
It has. Yes, it's. I catch you at the last minute, and it did for just a second. I am holding you exactly like the book cover, and I go, "Oh, that was. You all right?"
I'm fine.
He slowly helps you get back up to your feet, and just sort of politely brushes your shoulder. If you're alright, are you okay?
Yeah. No, I'm great. I'm gonna go get my coat. We should so quiz? Pub?
Quiz.
Words. Okay.
Pub,
well,
quiz. Words. Yes.
It's called the Golden Goose. It's down the road. It'll be on your unspecified cell phone map. And I will see you there.
I look forward to it.
So now that our lovebirds have met, let's say we're going to pick the next card, which tells us what might keep the lovebirds apart.
All right, and this is another spades card. Are you pulling this one?
No, go ahead.
Okay, I got it. Fine. Put the doom on my shoulders. 6 of spades.
Wait a minute.
Oh, okay. Wow. So we were once involved, but we let each other down in a major way.
Okay.
Okay, so one thing I've never established is why the doctor moved to Moon's Hollow in the first place, given that he came from far away. Is it possible that that we had like a college, a college affair, or just like a first year, or like a first year college, like a sabbatical, like the gap year affair in our youths?
How
Okay.
about when you first moved to town, we had both tried the dating apps, and we spoke for a while, and we remember the conversation. Like we might remember snippets of the conversation, but I don't think maybe we never met, or like, because there's no way we look that different, right? So
I have an idea that maybe there were you stood me up not once, not twice, but 3 times because of your job, and
Seems like it would be
or
more
maybe
likely
just
that
the one
you
time.
would have, given that you're the doctor.
Well, no, because it would give you another reason to hate your job because it made you miss out on dating someone, and it made me sort of feel like, yeah, maybe dating isn't for me without even properly trying it out.
Sure.
All right. So yes, in the past, we do these things, and so here's what I'm picturing as just to go back to montage a bit, and tell me if this doesn't work for you. That we go to the pub and we both recovered from that dip moment, sort of overwhelming us both. It was a nice moment; it lingers in our minds. But with the chaos of the pub and the pub quiz and everything, we have a more relaxed, fun time. We're both good at various. You have a lot of general knowledge. I have a lot of very specific knowledge in certain, areas, especially the science questions that come up, or the medical related questions that come up.
But
And
not sport.
working together, not sport. We both do terribly when it comes to the sports balls.
Well,
Um,
only that maybe you only know about the one subgenre of sport that you watch with Walsh.
yes. Um, but unfortunately, none of those questions come up. So it's we don't win, but we get pretty close, and our competitive spirit has been stoked. And then you say something in a certain way that sparks a memory, and we flash back to you having to to like another smaller montage of you just having with the fancy filter effects and all that, of you having to cancel on a couple of dates because your terrible boss has made you work extra hours, and me sitting alone in a restaurant, and not once, not twice, but 3 times, and then on the third time in a completely different editing while sitting at the hot meal, he takes the dating apps he's been on and he deletes all of them off of his phone.
Um, yeah, I think at that point, you assume it's an excuse, and I kind of give up, and I'm like, how am I ever going to meet someone in this job with this boss at these hours? Um, but I think, um, like, I think since then, uh, like there have been developments in the boss's life that make him at least leave work a little
Right.
early, and so like sometimes he forgets to make everybody stay longer, even though he's off doing something else, and
Yeah.
so I do get some time off, and like get home at a reasonable hour sometimes, but yeah, so it's become better. So how long ago do you think that was?
I think maybe not too. I don't know. Maybe 7 or 8 years. So
Okay.
enough that we might forget each other, but not long enough that a sudden phrase might not trigger his memory.
Hmm.
And I think that after we do that flashback, we flash backward to the present, and he remembers those moments. And from that moment on in the evening, he's still
Distant.
smiling and polite and participating in the quiz. Yes, there's a distance there. Suddenly, do you think she remembers as well? Do you think he says something that triggers her memory?
I think not in the same conversation. I think maybe later on. But I think I think you still may not have because we probably had like usernames or whatever, instead of
Right,
actual names. So you might not have confirmation that it's the same person, but uh,
right. But
because
yeah,
I don't
there's
like
that distance.
yeah, because I don't like talking about my job. So uh, I wouldn't have necessarily told you enough for it to be
Okay, yeah.
like
The main
anyway.
thing is that he's got that sense of distrust that's going to color every future interaction with you until
I
he
don't know.
resolves it.
I don't know about distrust. I think it would just be like, what if she's like
Or
that
like
other person?
sort of, yeah. All right, got it. Like, what if, yeah, like, until he's basically figured out why it happened, he's not
Yeah.
going to be 100% comfortable.
Yeah. And I think yeah, so I think like at some point in the evening, because like, she's kind of been doing the like touching your arm like lightly at some point, and like um maybe like if our hands brush each other on the table while like we're all busy quizzing, um we both, at least initially, let the hands linger.
There are the
And then
eyes that meet and linger for just a sec.
yeah, and then sort of like starting little in-jokey things about some like mishearing question or something, and then when you kind of suddenly like that memory is triggered, and when you kind of not exactly pull away, but like don't seem to be as into the stolen glances anymore, then I guess I'm like I it's late. I think I just want to. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna head out, guys, and so start saying bye to the friends. And so you're kind of, I think, blocking her way out of the booth or whatever. So like as you get up to let her out, I guess maybe you'll walk out with me.
Right, yes. I mean, it's only polite after all. I'll
Plus
escort you out.
plus I think you'll take any excuse to go home.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So, yeah, we'll head out.
yeah, so I think when we head out, I will try once again when we're like standing outside and waiting for my Uber. Because guess what? Moon's Hollow has Uber or other rideshare app. Um, uh, I'll just be like, so this was fun. I'm sorry for cutting your night short. I hope you're not leaving. Because with me, I'm just really eager to get home and get out of these shoes.
I am as well. It was a pleasure meeting you again. And you have a good night. And he walks off before you can clarify what the again means.
I assume, and like I kind of brushed it off as like I assume he meant earlier in the day. I just went like,
Yeah.
okay. And like after you've already walked off, like I'm like you walk off just as the cab arrives, I think, because I don't think you would just leave.
Yeah. Oh, right.
So,
Yeah. I mean, it would have been politely ended. It's not like again and it's just like huffing off. It's
yeah,
politely, gracefully done.
sure.
I
So
think.
I get into the
Oh yeah,
cab,
go ahead. Yeah.
and like as I get into cab, I'm just like, okay, I guess.
And when he gets home, he takes off his shoes, and there's like a just a moment where he looks down at his shoes, and it's clear that he's not getting the same amount of satisfaction from the shoe removal as he usually gets. And
Shoe
there's just
removal
this
ain't what it used to be.
yes, and there's just this big sigh and a fade to black.
I feel like there would be the scene would shift to her getting home and like kicking off her shoes and just like plunking down on the sofa, with like grabbing some ice cream out of the freezer, just being like, men are weird, and like texting with some friends and like scrolling stuff before going to bed.
All right. Okay. So we move on to our development phase. There have
Yep.
been developments.
Mm.
Okay, so for this we have one card from each of the suits, each representing a different thing. And we decide based on those cards the order we play those scenes out, or we mishmash them all into one big scene if we feel like it.
Mhm.
Um, Let us draw those cards. So we'll start with the hearts card, which is a romantic scene that happens.
Mhm.
Jack of Hearts. So
Okay, that is one of the stars helps teach the other one to dance in a style they're unfamiliar with. Ooh.
okay, I like that. Next, diamonds, which is a positive change in fortune. Two of diamonds. What does that get us?
Diamonds is a long day leads to a deeply cathartic conversation with a kindly stranger who listens deep and offers great advice.
That'll be interesting. One of us is gonna have to have the long day while the other of us plays the stranger. So that's a separate scene all of its own.
Mhm.
Okay, clubs for a negative change in fortune. Ooh, the
Mhm.
king of clubs.
Which is one of the star's loved ones makes an offhand comment that causes the star to have a crisis of confidence.
Okay, and lastly, we've got our spades, which is the four of spades.
Which is the star's personal ambitions clash with each other and they get into an argument about priorities.
Oh, well, that works perfectly with
Yeah.
our yeah, what keeps the stars apart.
Yep.
So I think we should figure out at this point, how do our separate ambitions sort of clash with each other?
Um. Well, how about we decide the order that we're going to do these? We're going to work these things into the story, and then maybe it'll come up organically.
Okay. Um, let's see. So I have an idea.
Mhm.
Uh, and so yeah, I'll just lay it out, and if you've got another one, just lay it on me. So I
Mhm.
think maybe um the doctor has a conversation with one of his patients that's who's just come in for like a minor emergency, they sprained their wrist or something like that. He helps them out, and this stranger gives him advice that makes him feel maybe he should give this lady a second chance.
Okay.
And so he invites her out, and then they go out dancing. I'm not sure who teaches who to dance, but yes, one of us is going to teach the other person a dance, and that's our romantic scene. And maybe with that, we do a quick montage. We have we date for like a couple of times, and um, then one of our loved ones makes an offhand comment that brings a little seed of doubt into one of our minds, and that
Yeah.
is what's going to lead us to have like an argument about our personal ambitions
Priorities.
clashing.
No, that's perfect. I think what might happen is like the patient you have is like on the older side, and they talk about how they need to get better in time for like maybe they came in with a fracture or something, and we haven't established what kind of doctor you are or what subgenre of medicine. Apparently, that's the word I'm using for everything. Um, you specialize in, but yeah, so maybe someone just came in with like a non-fatal injury that takes some time to heal, and they were just saying that I really hope that I recover in time for my wedding, and like they're on the older side and they're about to get married, and like you kind of take some inspiration from that as they're telling you about their love story, just kind of chattering
Right.
happily away
Or
about their wedding.
so I have an idea. What if it's not an older person? What if it's a somewhat younger person who is getting married? A certain what was the name that we had for was it Amit Vilala
Mm-hmm.
from our first movie who comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could
Oh,
be, or or it could be. What was your character's name again? It was
Jaya.
Smith, J.S. Smith. Maybe J.S. Smith comes in.
Mm, sure. Let's say Jaya comes in.
All right. And so, I mean, a relative stranger, because I don't think he, despite, I mean, the only thing, the only interaction they've had is that the doctor helped Jaya perform her grand gesture in the previous movie.
Yeah.
Um, Beyond that, she's stranger enough to work for the prompt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Are you ready to step back into Jaya's shoes?
yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, uh, and anyone else who is enjoying the show, preparing to reprise her role as Jaya Smith is Poorna M.
Previously
All right.
on, it's like for the purposes of a sequel, this is great because like the same actress comes back and it's very confusing for everybody. It's terrible casting in this
Oh,
movie.
I love it. It's great casting.
Mm. Anyway.
All right, shall we go ahead and start that scene?
Mhm.
Okay, so it's the tail end of the day. Sun's already set. The you know Grisham is staying a little later than he ought to, but making sure that everyone's okay. And he comes in and he checks in on Jaya, and he's like, "Oh, hi, you. Sorry, you seem familiar. Have we already spoken before? I'm sorry. It's been a very very long day."
Dr. Pennyworth, it's me, Jaya. You were there when cool things happened to me. Look, I I've been coming to this hospital for years. You know me.
I there are a lot of people to keep track of, but I'm sure. Yes, Jaya Smith. You said yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm very
Well,
happy you remember totally organically and not just off of my hospital chart.
uh, well,
It's okay, Dr.
how can I
Pennyworth.
help you? Are you?
Uh,
As I tell all my patients, I'm sorry to see you here. Let's see if we can get you out of here as quickly as possible.
well,
Just a little doctor jerk.
very funny, Dr. Pennyworth. I am fine. I'm doing great, actually. And so, for the purposes of so out of character, I think Jaya has come in and she has a broken phalange, and
Okay.
and like was in pain, and but that she's come. This is a follow-up appointment, and like it's not like the cast is not being taken off, but like she's doing fine. Like she's good, as in she, but she's like remarkably cheery for someone who should probably still be in some amount of pain.
Right, he says. Well, you seem remarkably cheery for someone who should be in some amount of pain.
Um, yeah, I guess it's just that well, I think having this addition to my person is helping, and it's like she shows off an engagement ring. She can't stop staring at.
Ah, congratulations. I take it your grand gesture to Mr. Valala went well then?
Again, you were there, and so out of character. I feel like so I think you would just say like I don't think you would remember Mr. Valala. I think you would just be like, so the young man decided to propose or whatever.
That's better phrased, yes. So there are wedding bells in your future then.
Yes.
Congratulations.
June 11th.
That's exciting.
Isn't it? Yeah, that's definitely been helping with me. Plus,
Beautiful
how many
time to get
phalanges?
married.
Yeah. How many phalanges does a girl need anyway?
All 10, I would hope. Your phalanges are going to recover. You will be just fine. Just take a little. I'm going to prescribe you some pain medication, but other than that, there's no reason why you shouldn't be in full possession of
All my
all your
phalanges?
phalanges in time for your wedding.
Well, I don't think any. I mean, I don't want to jinx anything, but I don't think anything could ruin that day for me. But do you? What was I don't actually know if you're married, Dr. Pennyworth. What was your wedding like?
I was a long time ago. We got married too young, and it didn't work out. And then I moved here. It's the long and short of it.
Well, it's lucky you don't write movie scripts, Dr. Pennyworth.
I would not be good at that. I don't think that I'm quite meant for romance. It's not on the cards for me.
Well, if I have learned anything, and you kind of smile to yourself because she's so much younger than you.
Yeah.
Well, if I've learned anything, it can happen when you least expect it. But so, well, I'm sorry to hear that your presumably first marriage didn't work out. Is there? I hope there's someone special in your life now that you look forward to seeing at the end of the day. You know,
He
getting
sits down
home, taking off your shoes together. I don't know why this is a running thing.
And he's clearly very tired and is opening up to things that he wouldn't under normal circumstances. He says, I actually did sort of meet someone yesterday, and
Ooh.
to make a long story short, I'm not exactly sure how I feel. My luck in love has never been I've been dealt a bad hand, you could say. And I feel like maybe I should it's safe. I have a good life. What more does a doctor need, really? I help other people. I live comfortably.
Dr. Pennyworth, I know that my job isn't as life-saving as yours, but my dad was a doctor. I hope you know that. I hope you remember. You're more than just your job. I mean, I'm glad that you are in a place in your life where you're happy. Maybe you just, you know, you don't feel that there is a place in your life for someone else, or maybe you're just happy with your life as it is. But I hope you know that you are more than your job. And there is more to life. Trust me.
I'd like to make a call, if you'll excuse me for a second.
By all means. I think all I need is your signature on the form, I think.
Oh yes, no, of course, and yes, tell your fiance hello from me, and to ask him to take up extra chores this week so that you can rest your hand.
I don't think I will need to ask. He's very good at that, but I will.
Well, he sounds like a keeper. And yeah, so
Yeah,
he basically
I
he
would say
marches
so.
out of the room quickly, and you see him because I don't think they exchange numbers. So here's what I think happens: he goes back and he quickly and clumsily reinstalls the app. Has to swipe past a whole bunch of extra subscription updates and stuff like that, and he scrolls down until he sees the old chat that you guys had, and it says like 8 years ago,
Um,
and no.
I mean, make it believable, Armaan. I don't know if the app is not gonna have changed in 7 or 8 years or gone entirely bankrupt. I think, I mean, that's fine. I just wanted to say that I realize we do know what your speciality is because you're respiratory illness specialist. That's why you were at Valala's
Yes,
house.
we do.
Um,
Uh-huh.
and also, I think maybe I think even if you like texted, because we're probably all on the same WhatsApp group, like the people
Oh,
who
the
are
WhatsApp group for the parents,
the
for the volunteers. Yeah,
volunteering. Mhm. So I
that's
think you
much simpler.
so you probably go through like the list and you're like looking for like a familiar face in the display picture. So you click on everybody display picture, accidentally call like 3 people, um, annoy the hell out of like at least 3 parents, that kind of thing.
For everyone who's watching, I assume it's clear to you by now who is the more practically minded head of Weave Games. Um, yeah. So I check number and I send you the text. It's a simple polite thing. I hope it's okay that I use this number from the group. I would I was hoping we could meet again. Um, just the two of us. I would like to take you out for dinner, and perhaps um just to work up an appetite, there's dancing happening at this location
If you say
at the
hot meal,
leather
I
at
swear
the
to God.
no, I was about to say the um the uh the lighter notes, which is just sort of
Ooh.
like a yeah, the lighter notes. It's a sort of a dance studio on the first floor, and on the ground floor they just sort of have like a club or like a get together. They do every week. They do different types of dance styles for people to come in and just have fun, just have a nice evening out.
That's so nice. I think I mean, okay, so I think what happens is as Jaya is like hopping off the examination table thing, um, you've like texted, and I think you may have signed distractedly on the wrong spot of the form or something, because then she kind of pokes her
Right.
head back into your cabin, and like you're busy looking at your phone, and um, so I think as like as soon as Jenny sees this message, she's gonna go she's gonna call, because people in their 40s still do, and Jaya's gonna just be like gonna creep out again, as you say hello and like sort of wave to her awkwardly, like um and just sort of mutter to herself and be like, who calls anymore? Um, I guess he picked up though, so whatever. And then uh, so Jenny calls, just to confirm that you are Dr. Pennyworth. Like, just
Oh, yes,
random
it
text.
is. It's me.
Um,
I again, I apologize. I hope it's okay. I took your number.
uh, How did you get my number?
Off the like I said in my text, it's off the parents group for the volunteer
Oh, right.
event we were both a part of.
Um,
If I've overstepped my bounds, I apologize.
no. I just okay. This is slightly embarrassing. I am absolutely up for dinner. I'm not. I don't think I'm. Look, I'm a terrible dancer. I have 2 left feet. I hate it. I don't think I would be good at it. But if it's something you want to do, I will try. I can't promise that you will not leave with 2 injured feet. But on the other hand, you are a doctor, so that's fine.
Yes, we are all our bases are covered. I promise you, we will. I won't subject you to anything too complicated. Just follow my lead. We'll take it one step at a time.
Tagline for a movie. Yes.
There we go. One step at a time.
I mean, maybe this dance is a very random scene in the middle of the movie, but sure, let's make it all about that. So I think we can just sort of describe what happens with the dance thing rather than role playing and showing people that we know nothing about sport or dance. So
why do we keep including stuff in this movie we know nothing about?
Sports,
doctors, dancing.
It's almost like
actually, no. That is
people who do write.
This is a good rom-com tradition.
Yeah. I don't know. We can check with our production team later, but I think people do actually write scripts, and do research. Okay,
Yes.
so we meet. We have a lovely dinner at the Fallen Petal.
Okay.
Which is an Italian restaurant, and it's like dimly lit. It's beautiful. Like the vibes are back. We're feeling the feels. It's all great, and I think what might happen is I might get called back to work, like before we're supposed to go dancing, and then so you kind of like you, because you had explained before what kind of not like that we had dated before or that we were supposed to. I think you might have explained that it's happened to you before and like you associated it with things that weren't fair, and so you wanted to give this a go because you felt like there was something there. And so when we met for the first date, I think like I would have had to leave after dinner. Then I would say, I would like take your hand and I would be like, Grisham, I promise I will make this up to you. Okay, how about we walk down? I looked up the place on the map. It's very close to my office. How about you show me the place and what your favorite style of dance is that you had in mind, what you had in mind for today, and I will make it up to you, I promise. Tomorrow even. I'm not trying to get out of this date any sooner than I have to. I promise. Do you believe me?
He stands up, and he doesn't immediately reply to your question. He just offers you his hand, if you'll take it.
I was already holding his hand.
Oh yes, you were. His other hand, and then he'll sort of, and if this is all right, he'll pull you close and lift that one hand and just sort of in a dance position. Like his hands on your lower back, he's holding yours there, and he takes one single step forward, moving with you, taking the lead. Just sort of gently guiding you back, And then he'll lower his hand and take a step back, and he goes, "One step at a time. I wanted to get at least one in before you had to go."
Well, if anyone had told me that dancing was could be this simple, I would have gone dancing more. And so when you took the step forward, I think Jenny didn't take as big of a step back, partly because she doesn't dance and doesn't know what she's doing, and partly because she wasn't sure what was happening or whether you were coming into it. So she was just like, should step back a little, I think, but also maybe not. So you were quite close together for a second. And then I think so. I think what happens is, like, on the second date, or like whether it's the next night or a couple nights later, like, and Jenny like takes the initiative of making the date and stuff, and she will invite you over for dinner. She will cook, and she will. So I don't know. I mean, tell me if you're okay with this, out of character. Whether she will cook dinner, and she will say, "Is it okay if you just show me some steps here before I do this in front of people?"
I understand completely. I had to learn once too, and I honestly would have preferred to do it privately than in the in the class I took it in. I made many missteps, and maybe we can avoid that with you.
Okay, so I think we so you're okay with not going to the dance studio, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I think this is like a Friday evening. She's called you over. She has like switched off her phone, or like put it in another room in the house altogether. She's so that her boss cannot ruin this evening. And like has made like a really nice meal. Surprisingly, she makes really nice Indian food. And then yeah, so you're done with the food. You clear the plates away, and you're standing in the middle of her living room. Like it's there's a heavy rug on the floor. She has taken off her shoes because it's her house. So she's not wearing shoes. She's like in stockinged feet.
All right, and he starts to play some music, and the first song is filking music from the first movie, and he's like, "Oh wait, no, sorry," and he makes a swipe, and then it starts playing some sort of simple waltz, a nice Christmassy jazzy waltz, and he goes, "No, the important thing is that this is done in 3/4 time. You do the 1, 2, 3, 1, and we've already done the first step, so that's always, I've been told, that's the hardest part." And he'll slowly guide you through like a very simple, I believe it's a box step, just around the room, just moving in a box, just a simple thing, and to get you comfortable with it. And after a couple of repetitions, when it seems like you're getting to the flow, he'll say, "How's this going?"
I think Jenny has been very aware of how close you are, and like not necessarily does not respond immediately, and goes, it's going well. This isn't it's going well. I like this."
Yes, your lack of words is contagious, and he starts staring straight at you. So it's just the two of you in that room, sort of just staring at each other, and whatever move he was about to teach you, or whatever he was about to advance into, is completely lost. He just sticks with this moment, and it's just that same 4 steps, right, back, left, forward, right, back, left, forward, and it starts to go a little slower as the music fades out, and he doesn't stop dancing. So holds as it gets just slower and slower, and he's clearly, words fade away, as does the need for words. And I think at some point maybe we move in a little closer as the scene fades away.
Okay, so to just explain a little bit about how you can play this game, depending on who you're playing with and your comfort level. It doesn't have to be someone you know super well. It doesn't, but it can also be someone you've known for a very long time. Depending on your comfort level, make sure that you establish your safety tools, your lines and veils, what you're comfortable with. As we have done before the stream, so you don't need to have any explicit scenes or explicit whether it is describing what other people in your life are up to or your characters, and we have chosen not to do that for this film. So it fades to black, and do we assume that they
spend the night together or have their first kiss? I'd say, you know what, I think at this point that's something they're both comfortable with, so I think maybe they do, if that's all right, if you think that works out with them.
Which one though?
Right. Oh, which one though?
As in, did they kiss or did they spend the night together?
Oh, I think both.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I agree that it's very sweet. Okay. So I think maybe we spend the weekend together, and then
Oh yes,
because it
he
was
actually,
Friday.
for one, he cancels on Friends. He does not go to watch the game.
Gasp! But what will Adams do without your support?
Uh-huh.
Or potentially
Yeah.
you could maybe text Walsh on Sunday and be like, a friend of mine wants to come along and watch the game. Is that okay? Kind of thing. So that we can interact, and maybe we have the clash in front of your friend.
Oh, right, yes. He's hosting a big game night for the game. And so invites a couple of people, and maybe, yes, so the friend comes in, maybe you invite, either your friend or your sister, so that you're not completely alone with unfamiliar people there. And yeah, we have a bit of a party there.
No, I mean, so this is still only gonna we're still very early on. So is this just like a game night where I'm? Oh, I know. Okay, so you host a game night. I kind of
Oh,
I'm
better.
not sure whether I'm supposed to be. Oh, wait, because we're at my house. So maybe
At the moment, yes.
because I don't know if you would know enough people socially to invite them over for a game night. It sounds like
You're
you
right.
did.
Yeah, probably
So
not.
I think
It,
so. I
yeah.
think so. I think maybe I invited people over, and that's why you're missing the game for like a game night, and
Yes.
and then I guess maybe what happens is the offhand comment that causes you to have a crisis in confidence is because I kind of without thinking fall into uh the role of um sort of speaking to you in front of my guests as if we're in an established relationship, and you're
Right.
kind of um maybe they ask if we have any plans for Christmas, and I just kind of say, oh no, I without talking to you first, I'm just like, oh no, Mads and I are going skiing or something.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
And
then
maybe he feels like it's moving too fast, because that's maybe why his first marriage ended, because they went into things head fast, headlong.
no, I'm saying, so I think because I'm saying I'm going skiing with my sister, and I don't even ask.
Oh, okay. Oh, Oh,
like
you didn't ask if you wanted me to be involved, right?
yeah, or like we didn't discuss like we didn't make any assumptions about like whether we will be spending time together over the like traditional
Oh,
holiday break or
so
whatever.
you're saying you think he wanted to spend more time with you on Christmas, and you just assumed nothing would be happening. Oh, okay. Oh, that's sadder.
Well, I think it makes more sense given that like
No, sadder
if
is
you
good.
had no, because if you had like a thing where you went into your first marriage kind of like quickly,
Absolutely.
yeah, okay, cool. So and then maybe I guess you haven't yet told me about the first marriage, or like
Yeah, yeah.
told me anything about it. Like I know you have been married once before, but like I don't know anything
Yeah.
more. Um, and then like I think that like would already have made you a bit awkward. So at that point, you probably because I think yeah, I think we will that will have made things awkward, and then like once the friends leave, um, you're like not sure whether you should stick around to help me out because like are we there yet? Are we hosting this party together? Should I be the boyfriend or whatever? And then you also feel ridiculous like asking the question, so you don't actually ask. So you're like
Mhm.
just kind of standing around awkwardly, and then um, and then so we're already in an awkward place, and then
I have
that's
an
when we have
idea.
the crash.
Yeah. Yes. So to move this, actually, to sort of double down on the awkwardness,
Mm-hmm.
um, maybe it's that I want to have the clash that you were leading up to, and to argue about things. But maybe it's possible that just as I'm about to really say something, I get an emergency work call. I need to go in to the hospital because there's been an emergency, and you get a work call at the same time,
Mm.
and maybe we keep getting over the next like couple of days we find we don't we're
Our
not able
schedules
to
don't
talk to each
match.
other. Yeah, our
Mm.
schedules don't line up. Your so because that can tie into our ambitions clashing. I want to make sure the hospital's at its best, and you are tied down to your job because of whatever your reasons are. um
So
and something's got to give.
I guess the thing is like we're basically sticking to the routines and patterns that we are used to instead of
Comfortable
like
with,
making
yes.
space for another person.
Uh-huh.
So I
Yeah.
think yeah, so I think uh, it might be easier to sort of pause and like, out of character since like there's not that much time. I think we should just roll that into one montage of scenes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just a montage of scenes, and then we move on to the disaster.
Okay,
We're on the
so
same page or the same card.
so 3, 2, 1. Okay, so essentially, yeah, I think so. At my game night, someone asks me about Christmas break, and there's like an awkward pause, and I say, "Oh, like you start to say something like, oh, we haven't really had a chance to decide yet what we're doing,'
Yeah,
and
I'm stammering through it because I'm not used to being around so many people socially, and that's when you come in with,
neither of us are used to being a we.
ooh, that too. Yes.
Um, but yeah, so then so I'm like, oh yeah, I'm meeting my sister. She was saying something about skiing. I'm not sure, but it's definitely gonna be me and Mads as always.
Oh, right. Okay. And yeah, he doesn't say much at the time, but he's like anyone who's focusing on just him can clearly see
Hurt.
that thought does not make him happy. Yes, it hurts.
I guess at some point, like I go to the kitchen to get like a refill of something, and I like ask you to help me, and take that moment to ask if you're okay, but then maybe you just brush it off.
I brush it off, and then I think as I'm leaving the kitchen, about to turn around to say something, which is when my phone rings.
Oh, do you have to get that? Do you have to go?
It's an emergency. It's a hospital. Yes, I have to go. Thank you for inviting me. Your friends, the lovely. I'm sorry. I have to go. I'll call you.
Yeah. No, sure. And like she might like lean in to kiss you, and you might just like kiss her on the cheek before leaving.
Yeah.
Classic. Okay, cool. And then I think there's like a bunch of days, as you said. I think it's more than a couple of days. I think it's like a couple of weeks. So now we're
Ooh,
like,
okay. Yeah. That.
because I think we may have met at this end of November, start of December, and then like this is like
Yeah.
properly people are like know what they're doing for Christmas. Everything's great.
Yeah.
And then I think like I will like we have not managed to go out on another date. And like a week or like 10 days into like trying to get our schedules to align, I suggest like after like going back and forth in my head about it for a long time, I suggest why don't you come over and spend the weekend at my place, so that we can like maybe like we can still catch up on whatever errands we need to, but still spend time together. And then I think maybe I don't know what your instinctive response is, but maybe you don't agree to the whole weekend, or like make it sound like we don't. It doesn't need to be the whole weekend or something.
Yeah. Basically, I can't be away from the hospital that long. But but an evening, yes, we need to, we definitely need to. And he phrases it as like he means to say we need to catch up, but what he says is we need to talk.
Right. Yeah. No. Okay. Well, I will text you the details of a reservation. I made a reservation for dinner. Yeah, I'll see you there at 8.
I'll see you there. And all right, so I think maybe that reservation, that dinner, is where our disaster might be happening.
Because this is from before, where we were once involved and let each other down.
Yes, in a major
That's our
way.
ambitions. Yeah, this makes sense. So I think at dinner, it
Yes,
probably escalates to like a major fight.
right.
I don't know about you, but given the time, I feel like we should describe this scene and enact the grand gesture.
That sounds good. Yes.
Okay.
So I think maybe it's a really, given that it's been weeks since they've actually had time to spend with each other, and I think there's just some misunderstandings on both their part. He thinks she's not that interested. She thinks he's being cold or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's awkward at first, and then when either of them tries to talk about it, it leads to I think we both end up sounding a little harsher than what we mean to.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. And I think at some point at the start of the meal, maybe like there's like a thaw, where they like kind of start vibing again because of like some common joke that they accidentally stumbled into making, and like this little in joke, and so one of them probably pulls the chair closer to the other person, and like they're holding hands or something, and like kind of trying to get back into the feels. And then like one of us probably says, we should talk about what this means, and then we get into this massive, not massive, but like unnecessarily escalated argument about what our priority should be. So I feel like both of us feel like the other person is trying to dictate what the priority should be.
Yes, and there's some misunderstanding there. And I think at some point in the argument it just gets to like absurd things. And I think at one point he'll just say, um, this is typical. You can't you can't make time for me. The very first time we met, you stood me up for your work.
What are you talking about? We went to the pop quiz.
No, the first time. It's me.
Mario.
Filterman 78. No. This is not a time for joking.
No.
It was on that app, Hearts for Love. Remember? 8 years ago?
Yeah, I think they're called something.
He hides his beard a little bit, so
Similar.
just so you can see the upper half of his face. 3 times we were supposed to meet. Each time you stood me up.
So I think basically Jenny goes on this thing about how she tries to explain about her job, and kind of mentions how her boss is not mellowed over time, but has a different schedule now, so which allows her to have some time for a relationship. But sort of explains that you are not the only. So what she means to say is that you are not the only opportunity that slipped through my fingers because of my idiotic boss. And what she means to say is that I regret not meeting you and not dating you 7 years ago, but it comes across as so I canceled on so many people through the app.
Yeah, he's saying. Yeah.
How am I supposed to remember everyone? So yeah, and so take that however your character will.
I think he takes a certain sadness at it. He feels at that like he's never going to be a priority, and he says as much. I don't think I'm ever going to be a priority, and I don't think this job is doing you any favors, but
so okay,
if you
so I think she would kind of be defensive about it and be like, and so she would probably say, look, I don't, you know what, my priorities are fine. I have a deep connection to this community. You don't see it because I haven't seen you in 2 weeks, and this whole thing. And then basically she's really, so the reason I mention this way is because I think you don't get a chance to mention it maybe, but you realize that you're very much on the same page about all the community stuff, wanting to do stuff for the community and thing. And you might say something hurtfully phrased about problematically phrased about finding a different job or something that and so both of us are up on our haunches.
Yeah, it's basically something like you weren't you do some actual good for this community if you weren't just so comfortable with your cozy paycheck that keeps you working all hours.
No,
and so I think there's a dreadful silence after that he is too angry to be apologetic about, and I think maybe you say something like, I think you should leave, and he says, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I think I say that, and then I say, no, maybe I'll leave, and then you kind of say something passive aggressive about oh.
Yeah, it's oh, big surprise.
Yeah, man, these people are so.
Tell your boss I say hi.
Okay, so big argument, and I have stormed out of the restaurant, and you as you might have left without paying. I've just paid at the counter thingy, and you wait to see me walk to my car or something, and and then you leave, and you realize that.
And I think there's like just a quick montage of the aftermath in which, you're getting increasingly annoyed at your job. I am throwing myself into work and taking on more shifts and getting more tired. And at the end of each of these little montages, you see him taking off his shoes, and it's just not satisfying at all.
Damn those shoes.
At one point, he kicks off one dramatically.
Wow. Okay, so that was the disaster and the aftermath, and now we come to the next stage, which is a grand gesture. One or both of the stars performs a grand gesture, and this grand gesture may not fix everything, but convinces the stars that they should be together to make things work, no matter what the odds. So, in this stage, you are to call upon prompts that have come up previously in the game, like handily mentioned in your story arc sheet or on the sheet that we're using. And so, which one of us do you think should make the grand gesture? I think it should be you because you're better at it.
I think, yeah. Originally, I was like, before the argument, I was thinking maybe you should do it, but then I was like, okay, no, I was mean in that scene, so yes, it's definitely me.
So I think sometime like I think it's sometime has passed. Like I think it's past Christmas. I've spent Christmas with my sister, but I'm like been pouty throughout and like sulking, and like I've basically gone and like quit my job and not told you, because like I was like doing a bunch of volunteering in the days leading up to Christmas, helping organize stuff, and then which you probably avoided because you thought I would be there, and then I think it's kind of probably Boxing Day or like the 27th or something, when whatever is going to happen happens, but what you don't know is that I have been offered like an events coordinator position, like at the local college, because I've been basically telling people in the circles where I was volunteering that I'm leaving.
Yeah. I have an idea for how the gesture might work.
Okay. Do you just want to enact it?
I'll give it. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. Oh well. Okay. So, you are on the pre-planned Christmas holiday before you start your new job. You're on that pre-planned Christmas holiday with your sister that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's Christmas Day. Her book is out, and she's wearing an obnoxiously large picture of like the cover on as a T-shirt.
My
and
face.
you're a little too. And she goes, "Yeah, that's probably why the book is so successful." Eh?
Mm-hmm.
And she put you in a headlock and looks you. Anyway, so you see him show up. And he has been brought there on a snowmobile with driven by J.S. Smith, who she gives him like an encouraging pat on the back and drives away.
I look out the window and I'm like, what?
He calls to you and he says, yeah. And he begins singing the opening notes of a song. Just one of those old classic romances that for copyright reasons we will not mention here today. But he starts singing slowly, just the first notes of the song. And it's a song that he starts slowly swaying and dancing to, doing a box step. And then another person from the community joins him. It's the local librarian. She comes in and she starts singing as well, and they're doing like a similar box step, and she is joined by the butcher, and then the town's car mechanic shows up, and he's dancing with one of the small town defense lawyers, and it's basically all these members of the community start joining in one by one, and they're all partnering up and doing this simple box step as they all sing together as a community. He's basically organized a flash mob with the community, and he says, and the singing, the background community singing continues, and he stops singing, and he says,
What are
I
you doing here?
thought for so long. And he's still moving, doing the dance, by the way, and there's just an empty space where another dancer should be. And he's sort of grinning at you, but as he says, I never thought that I could
What are
connect with
you
someone
doing?
until
Oh,
I met you. Wait,
you-
I'm going somewhere with this. But you showed
right.
me that I have been missing. There's been an empty space where you should be. And once you fill that, I feel like I could connect with people. I feel I have been missing something, and I would, if you would join me here, and he indicates, just invites you to step in. I would make you my priority. And he says my prior. His words get stuck in his throat when you step in closer, and he just takes your hand. And once again, at a complete loss for words, as everyone else in the background just continues to sing. Their singing gets softer, but just more like they form like a semicircle around, and they're just basically going something like that. And yeah, he's waiting for you to speak because he's completely lost his train of thought now.
Um, when did you even? So she kind of looks away at the people and looks back at me, swaying in her arms. She's like, I just want to say, so I'm gonna say, like, my sister probably walks up and, like, you see, just as I finish saying what I'm gonna say, my sister walks in and you see the book cover with me being dipped. So I'm gonna just be like, I'm sorry for the other day. It's not how I want us to be. I want to make you my priority too. I quit my job, and I really wanted to call you.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm really. I mean, I should be so happy. It was the best Christmas present to myself. I just missed you.
And he sees the shirt, and I think your sister is pointing obnoxiously to this thing, and he sighs, and very slowly he'll dip you.
So, like, starts to turn to see what you're looking at and go, ah!
And holds you there, and he says, I would like it very much if you would be the person I come home to in the evenings after a long day at work. And if you could come home to me.
She's like, her voice breaks, and she's like, I would like that too. And she's like, crying in this position is very hard. Could you please straighten me up? Yeah.
He straightens you up once again, and
like,
just makes sure you're okay, and then holds you close.
Yes, she buries her face in your shoulder and is like overcome. And yeah, I think that's where we end the scene. Yeah, so that was our grand gesture. The last stage of this game is the epilogue, where you tie up any loose threads, any side characters mentioned, get the ends of their stories if you like, if you can think of something that makes sense, decide how much time has passed since the grand gesture, and enact a final scene to show where we leave our lovebirds.
So I've got a couple of scenes that I think might happen.
Mhm.
I think one of the last things you did at your job was to approve the funding for the Blessed Angels project for the hospital
Sure.
as sort of like a charity tax write-off for your company. I also think that we both attend the wedding of J.S. Smith and Amit Valala. And I think there are montage scenes of us dancing, learning different dances together. But I do have an idea for the final scene, and tell me whether or not you hate me for this. We both come home after a long night of dancing and sit down on the couch, take our shoes off together, and sigh with a deep sigh of, look of satisfaction on both our faces as we snuggle up on the couch and turn on a Christmas movie.
That sounds perfect. That is the end of our movie. That's how we leave our characters. I hope you enjoyed watching this particular playthrough of Love is on the Cards. I know that behind the scenes, Chirag is also thinking of asking Armaan out, and I'm absolutely, definitely against that. But I have also been thoroughly wooed. I hope you have as well. He is so much better at the grand gestures. I'm so glad that's, and frankly, that's fine. You can decide how you want your characters to be and how you want it to play out. But
as your character's sister would doubtlessly say, it depends on the inspiration.
Exactly. Oh wait, that was a compliment. Thank you. Took a second. Sorry, took a second. Yes. Yeah. My fictitious sister definitely would have said that, and not the person wooing me in this film. Okay. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you, Daisies and Dragons, for having us. I am Poorna M. I have played Jenny, and both of them go by she, her pronouns. You can find me on the internet as @PoornaWrites on Twitter. I am one half of Weave Games, and the other half is...
Hi, I'm ArmaanBabu. I have been playing Dr. Grisham Pennyworth this evening. You can find me on Twitter at ArmaanBabu, which will give you a link to everywhere else you may find me.
And we have...
Oh yes, it has already been mentioned. I'm the other half of Weave. Go ahead.
And we are Weave, as we say. We have played the first part to this sequel, apparently, on Horde of Tales on the 22nd. And depending on when you're watching this stream, the game will already be out on itch. It is coming out on Christmas Day. So we hope that you and yours have a lovely holiday season, and may 2024 bring you a lot of peace and hopefully some joy. And if not, you can manufacture your own through this game.